Max Verstappen, he tries to... There's the late lunge that Max Verstappen was looking for! The championship pendulum swing.
The names are interesting, but what do they signify? That's where it becomes risky. He is referred to as Mad Max. However, are you aware of how he achieved it?
That is 4 in a row, folks.
He didn't achieve Mad Max through being composed and methodical. Nope, Max Verstappen burst onto the F1 scene like a force of nature. Only 17 years old, barely old enough to operate a road car, yet outpacing experienced drivers as if he was destined for the track. He embraced challenges that others wouldn't. No rational driver would attempt to overtake in corners. And what happened when things went wrong? He was unrestrained, similar to when he yelled over the radio in Hungary, "They're driving like amateurs." That particular saying, it ignited the flame. Supporters embraced it, commentators couldn't overlook it. His impulsive, intense approach was now called Mad Max. And rather than fleeing from it, he embraced it. His actions became more daring. His radio tirades grew more intense. It was mayhem, and it was amazing. In 1 minute, he's setting new records. Afterward, he's damaging front wings. That nickname lasted because it wasn't merely a label, it was a caution. When Mad Max is on the track, anything can occur. If Max Verstappen is aggressive, Pastor Maldonado was a full-blown hazard on wheels. My guy didn't just flirt with chaos, he dated it. Fans didn't call him Crashtor for nothing. This man made wreckage look like an art form. From practice to race day, Maldonado found new ways to create mayhem. Pit lane collisions? Check. Monaco 2012? Bro straight up bulldozed Sergio Perez in practice. Spa? Jumped the start so hard he clipped Glock before the first corner. His highlight reel looked like a demolition derby. And then came the whispers. Crashgate. Was he reckless, or was there something deeper? Like a driver hiding brilliance beneath the madness. Because plot twist, Spain 2012. He didn't just race, he won. Beat Fernando Alonso on Spanish soil in a car that had no business up front. That's when F1 fans were torn. Was Maldonado a walking meme or an unpredictable genius playing 4D chess with the track? Either way, one thing was gospel. When Pastor hit the paddock, engineers held their breath and rivals checked their mirrors. Because with Crashtor, the only guarantee was impact.
Do you have any temptation to go to drive the simulator?
No.
You haven't experienced a cold until you've encountered Kimi Raikkonen. As other drivers shout into their radios, pumped with adrenaline, Kimi appears as if he just got out of a nap. Serene, unfazed, lethal. That's the reason he's known as the Iceman. He once actually dozed off before qualifying, yet still drove like a machine. Another occasion, he left a podium celebration just to relax on his yacht. Ice in his blood, champagne on his vessel. Yet, don't be misled. Beneath that calm exterior lies a beast with pinpoint accuracy. In 2007, he clinched the world title in the last race, by just 1 point. As others fretted, Kimi remained calm and focused. What about the quotes? Mythical. Just as when his engineer advised him to allow someone to overtake, he retorted, "Leave me alone, I know what I'm doing." That single line, it characterized him. Kimi avoids drama. He has no need for headlines. He's the quiet killer of F1, the person who wrecks your entire weekend, shows no emotions, and then speeds away as if nothing occurred. Frigid, consistently. They didn't call him the professor because he looked like a school teacher. They called him that because he drove like a scientist dissecting chaos in real time. Alain Prost didn't just race, he decoded the track. He knew the temperature, tire pressure, fuel load, and strategy down to the decimal. While other drivers braked late out of guts, Prost lifted early out of foresight. Every corner was math. Every overtake was a puzzle solved. His style wasn't flashy, it was flawless. 4 world titles proved that brains could beat brute force. And yet, behind all that control, he was a ruthless animal. His rivalry with Ayrton Senna was the most explosive in F1 history. 2 geniuses at war. They collided in Japan twice. Once to decide the championship, once just to send a message. Prost played it cool, calculating every risk, every enemy. And that nickname, it stuck. Not as a compliment, but as a threat. The professor didn't just outdrive you, he out-thought you. By the time you made your move, he'd already run every outcome. You weren't racing Prost, you were playing chess with a man who wrote the playbook.
Baku, I was like, I won't do it. DC took my shoes off.
Most drivers want to be predators, lions, panthers, or wolves. But Ricciardo, he picked the honey badger. Not for flash, but for fire. After watching a documentary, he saw this scrappy little beast take on cobras, lions, and full-on swarms. It didn't care who it faced. That was it. Spirit, animal, locked. He slapped the Honey Badger logo on his helmet and made it his signature. Off track, Dan's all smiles, jokes, and that trademark Aussie swagger. But on the track, he's a savage, laughing while overtaking, grinning mid-fight. But don't let that charm fool you. Behind that smile is a predator who lunges from light years back and still sticks the apex. Just ask Vettel after Baku. Ask Alonso after Shanghai. Ricciardo doesn't play it safe. He strikes. Unexpected, fearless, deadly. And that's why the nickname stuck. It's not branding, it's a warning. You think it's all laughs until he sends one down the inside and makes it look easy. Cute name, brutal moves. That's the Honey Badger. And once he smells blood, you'd better pray he's not in your mirrors. Because when Dan's on the hunt, no one's safe.
He's bugging about.
But it's true.
This one, pure 1970s. Formula One mayhem. James Hunt didn't compete like a person. He drove like a tempest with a desire for destruction. Rapid, erratic, and just one poor choice from catastrophe. That's why the paddock nicknamed him Hunt the Shunt. In traditional F1 terminology, a shunt referred to a collision. And Hunt, he collided with flair. But here's what made him iconic. He didn't merely destroy cars. He claimed championships. Champion of the world in 1976. The man celebrated more intensely than he practiced. Weekends filled with champagne, whispers of connecting with flight attendants shortly before a competition, smoking continuously on the grid. Once, he arrived without shoes, with a fractured toe, gestured obscenely at officials, and yet drove fiercely. On a different occasion, he knocked out a marshal during the race. He was indifferent to politics, sponsorships, or being cautious. Hunt the Shunt wasn't merely a moniker, it was a foretelling. It informed everyone that this individual is erratic, invulnerable, and relentless. Hunt lived as if his accelerator was jammed fully open. Did you catch a glimpse of him in your mirrors? You were certain of one thing. He wasn't racing, not meant for you, not for any person. Now we shift gears, literally. Valtteri Bottas didn't crash onto the scene with fireworks or drama. Nah, he crept in like a machine, cold, focused, and terrifyingly consistent. That's why fans nicknamed him Robotas. In his early Mercedes days, he was the silent assassin. No shouting, no ego, no wild radio calls. Just numbers, precision, and perfect tire management. He was the guy who made no noise, but always showed up. But over time, something started to glitch in the code. A little rage in his voice. A spark of rebellion. To whom it may concern, fuck you. The robot was waking up. Then came the mullet, the cheeky sauna selfies, the mustache, the wild post-race energy. Bottas had a personality, and fans were not ready for it. But even with the vibe shift, one thing stayed the same. The man was lethal behind the wheel. Ice-cold racecraft, perfect setups, laser-straight focus. The nickname stuck, not because he lacked flavor, but because his driving was too precise to be human. Robotas wasn't an insult, it was a warning. If this machine ever felt emotion, he'd be unstoppable. This nickname hits different. It's not savage, not wild, it's cultural. In Mexico, Checo is a go-to nickname for anyone named Sergio. Simple, right? But when Sergio hit the F1 grid, that ordinary name turned into something legendary. Checo became a brand, a battle cry, and a national symbol. Fans chanted, broadcasters say it like it's one word. Even his rivals, they call him Checo with respect. But don't let the easygoing nickname fool you. On the track, Checo's an assassin. They call him the king of tire management because the man can keep a dying set of tires alive like it's dark magic. Baku, he held off a charging Lewis Hamilton like a human shield. Monaco, he tamed the chaos and took the W like a street-fighting tactician. Calm under pressure, ruthless in defense, and calculated like a sniper. Checo doesn't make noise, he makes moments. So when that helmet drops and the visor comes down, Checo doesn't mean soft, it means get out of the way. 'Cause the pride of Mexico is coming for that podium. From Mad Max to Crashgate, the Iceman to the Professor, these aren't just names, they're battle scars. Each one tells a story of chaos, control, charm, or raw fury. Behind the helmet, F1 drivers carve out legacies, not just with speed, but with identity. Some wear their nicknames like armor. Others try to escape them. But once a name sticks, you either own it or it defines you. Because in Formula One, your nickname isn't just a label. It's a legacy written in smoke and steel. Some of today's rising stars don't even have nicknames yet. But trust me, they're earning them. So what name will the world give to the next F1 legend? What nickname is being written right now in tire marks and telemetry? And which story, funny, fierce, or flat-out insane, is still waiting to be told? If you want more stories like these, the ones you don't hear on the podium, the names whispered in garages, the chaos behind the helmets, like, subscribe, and drop your favorite F1 nickname in the comments. Or better yet, Tell us the wildest one we missed, because in F1, the race might end, but the stories, they never lift off. Thanks for watching.